Intermittent fasting, whether you like it, whether you hate it, like myself, I want to break everything down in terms of what you should know about intermittent fasting. But also, even though I'm not the biggest fan of it, I want to make sure that you have plenty of clarity in today's episode. So that way, if let's just say fasting does work for you, you know how to actually do it the proper way. Now, let me just say this before we really dive in. I am by no means an expert in any diet or any workout routine, anything like that, okay? Like, yes, I'm a certified personal trainer. Yes, I'm certified in nutrition, strength and conditioning, but I'm not an expert. If you want an expert's advice or opinions or recommendations, I highly recommend go looking up like Lane Norton. He talks a lot about fasting and like debunking about intermittent fasting and all the hype that's out there. He'll break it down for you in a much more scientific method than you ever will get from inside one of my videos. In this video, I just want to share with you just some reasons behind fasting and how it works, how it's beneficial, how it could also be not beneficial for some people like myself. And in fact, a lot of my coaching members, how it's not really the best thing for them on their fat loss journey. And then it's up for you to decide, okay, hey, well, this works for me, this doesn't work for me, regardless, right? Like it's all in your control at the end of the day. I'm just giving you some clarity, some recommendations. That's it. You know, be like a sponge, absorb in everything and just rinse out what doesn't work for you. So fasting is where you're taking a period of time and you're not eating anything at all, nothing. And normally you hear about intermittent fasting and a 16 8-hour method. And this is where you're fasting for 16 hours throughout the course of the day, and that's including your sleep as well, FYI, and you're eating for 8 hours. So it might look like this. You're not consuming any food at all until 12 o'clock. And let's just say you're eating until 8 p.m. After 8 p.m., you're not having any more food. Now, when you are fasting, try your best to stick with water, black coffee, and green tea. That's it. Even though, yes, Diet Coke is 0 calories, some of the artificial sweeteners that's out there actually will break your fast. So I don't recommend them at all. Water is a pure fast, and black coffee and green tea, these are actually, aid in the caffeine, all that when it comes to losing more body fat. So that's why I recommend just sticking with those 3 options when fasting. And there are multiple different forms of fasting. You can do OMAD, which is you're just eating 1 meal a day. You can do an alternate day fasting, where one day you're doing a complete 24-hour fast, and then the next day you're going right back to your eating. There's so many different variables when it comes to fasting. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It can actually be very personalized and customizable for you. Intermittent fasting is a great tool to use to help somebody stick within a calorie deficit. It's also a great tool if you learn a little bit about your circadian rhythm. Like, let's say if you're not hungry in the mornings, then don't eat in the mornings. You can actually have bigger portion out meals later on through the course of the day by just avoiding the breakfast. So once again, there are some pros when it comes to intermittent fasting. It can help somebody stay within a calorie deficit. If let's say you're not eating, 4 meals throughout the course of the day, you're only having 2 meals. Well, think how bigger portions those 2 meals are going to be. So if you're somebody that, let's just say, you like to have a lot of food, you like to feel full, right? Then this might be a great tool for you. So I'm a huge fan of macros, right? Your proteins, your carbs, your fats, sticking within your calorie range. There's so much flexibility to it. I'm a huge advocate of it, okay? Here's why I don't like intermittent fasting. Because if let's just say you're not having breakfast or you're not actually doing a 16 8-hour method, let's say you're only having a 4-hour window, right, of eating food, of having calories. Well, if let's say somebody has 3,000 calories to consume and they're trying their best to have 220 grams of protein, it's very hard to do in that short feeding window. So now the next thing you know is you might be biting off way too much than you can chew. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're not getting in enough food, right, you're actually going to be losing some weight. And that weight loss might not be fat loss, right? Losing weight is several different things. Somebody could lose body fat, yes. But if let's say somebody's cutting out their carbohydrates, they're going to be losing glycogen, right? Stored within the muscles. So they're going to be losing some water weight, not body fat. Somebody could also be not eating enough to maintain their muscle. And if let's say they're not working out properly and training properly, they could be losing once again their muscle. So seeing the number on the scale go down is not just losing body fat. They're 2 separate things. And I focus a lot with our members on purely fat loss, not weight loss. So if let's just say somebody, right, was having a 4-hour feeding window and they're having a hard time hitting their calories, right? Like, let's say they're normally supposed to be at 3,000 calories or even 2,500 calories, but because they have such a small window to be eating and consuming all that food, maybe they're only getting 1,200, 1,500 calories in. Next thing you know, you're in so much of a deficit, you're losing some of the muscle. It's the same thing as if somebody's trying to take a road trip from, let's say, Cleveland, Ohio, all the way down to Naples, Florida, and they never stop to put, gas in the car. Well, what's going to happen in that vehicle? It's going to ride around on fumes and eventually be broken down. And that's typically what happens with guys with their metabolism when they're not fueling their body properly. And personally, I'm not a big fan of intermittent fasting because it actually created a binge eating disorder within myself. I remember specifically one time in college, I was at Chipotle with all my friends, and I was so obsessed with the time to be eating. That's how involved I was with intermittent fasting. It's disgusting even thinking about it. So I'm literally at Chipotle, and it's probably like, 12:55, and my feeding window, right, started at 1 p.m. 5 minutes. So you know what I did? I literally sat there, talked to my friends, played around on my phone, and literally just had my Chipotle sitting right in front of me, and I didn't touch it until 1 p.m. By the time I actually started consuming my food, eating my Chipotle, everybody's done, right? We're college kids. We all eat within 30 seconds anyways. And I just remember like leaving Chipotle, driving home thinking like, this is so stupid. But I became so obsessed with, it has to be at this time, and I have to do things like this and be super, super, super strict. Guys, this is why I hate dieting. This is why I hate strict workout routines and programs, because it's not flexible for somebody's lifestyle. And it can actually hurt somebody rather than help somebody because, sure, right? I was able to stick with it, but it's not flexible. It actually caused me to have a binge eating disorder because I was so worried about the specific time of day that I should start eating my food. That's why I'm personally not a big fan of intermittent fasting. And we actually found this to be the common case with most of our coaching members. They actually get better fat loss results by just eating throughout the course of the day, having protein in every single meal, rather than just, fasting and having, protein in just a few selected meals throughout the course of the day. So experiment with yourself. Remember, what is going to work the best for you? Be like a sponge, absorb in everything and just rinse out what doesn't work the best for you. But keep in mind, right, you want to make sure that what does work is something that is sustainable for your body type, your lifestyle, and is going to help you carry on for long-term success. Not just a quick fix, but long-term success. You know what? I would love to know your feedback. Have you ever tried fasting before? Did it work for you? Did it not work for you? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What is your feedback? If you're watching this on YouTube right now, go ahead and just leave a comment down below letting me know your feedback. Did you try fasting? Did you like it? Did you not like it? And also, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would greatly appreciate it if you did. And if you are somebody that is looking for help on your fat loss journey and you just want to learn what works best for your body type, but also your lifestyle, so that way you can create sustainable habits for yourself, you can go ahead and click on the description box down below. And inside there, you're going to see the very first link is a free training guide that you can go ahead and download and learn exactly how our coaching program works, how we helped out thousands of members lose fat and keep it off, and how potentially you can get some help as well. As always, guys, this has been Coach Joe with Heartletics.com, and I will talk to you in the next episode. Peace out, Girl Scouts.